All right. Welcome to another episode of Truck Talk. This week, Rick Dolo, and my man's VIP over here, we're going to be going over week 8 reviews. As y'all know, we do the picks every week on the NFL. And this past week, I think I might have got the best of that man over there a little bit. Hey, it is what it is. But it was a crazy week though. What you think, Vip, man? Well, this week here,
Yeah, this week I can't believe what I saw this week. It was a week for the backup quarterbacks this week. We have the
yeah.
the Jets, the Saints, and my Dallas Cowboys all coming in with backup quarterbacks and all
Yeah,
getting those
yeah.
W's. But we'll get to the specifics later. We can go right into our first team. We got the Green Bay Packers and the used to be undefeated Arizona Cardinals. 24-21 Green
Yeah.
Bay. Arizona suffered their first
hmm
loss. And just as I was saying, you got Aaron Rodgers out there with his boy Randall Cobb and in the backfield coming out with Harris in the backfield, Aaron, ah, Aaron Jones in the backfield. I mean, it was just a game that they just did not want to lose. It was a close game. It was a close game. They contained Murray in the backfield. He couldn't get loose like he normally does. They was trying to hurt that boy. They really was trying to hurt that man. He looked small out there.
hmm
What you got to say?
Um, man, you right. You right, man. They were at Murray. Man, Green Bay secondary really showed they behinds in this game. They took away the long ball, man. I don't think they had any long passes whatsoever, man. And with all the weapons he has on that team, I mean, the goons he got on the squad. He got more goons than Plies got, out there in Miami. But I mean, no long balls. Then you had Kyler Murray, two interceptions. They fumbled. Green Bay played a nice, clean game. I don't even know if Green Bay had any turnovers during the course of that game. I don't believe they had any, but the Cardinals had three and still made it a close game. I mean, you picked Green Bay. I picked the Cardinals. I still feel like the Cardinals should have won. You know what I'm saying? I don't see Green Bay consistently beating them, but it does say a lot the fact that Green Bay was understaffed and still went in there and got the W. So a lot of that's just experience, and Green Bay is Green Bay, man. You know what I mean? If you give them an opportunity, they gonna take it. And the Cards had to go in there and play a good game. They didn't play their best ball, and Green Bay took full advantage, man. So, hey, it is what it is. You got me on that one. You got me
Yeah. I called it. I called it. Uh,
for
but we
sure.
can go ahead and move on to the next team. Next team we was discussing was Cincinnati and the New York Jets. I did not expect this. The New
Bruh.
York Jets coming out with that W, beating them 34-31. For real? Are
What
you
happened to your
serious?
boy? What happened to your
Oh
boy, man?
man. Oh, Joe was in there. Joe was in there. Joe did what he had to do. But that backup QB White, he threw to 10 different receivers. 10 different receivers was out there catching that ball from that boy. And they had the lead
Yeah,
late in the fourth. Well, I shouldn't say late. They had the lead in the fourth quarter, but
yeah,
they blew the lead. You can't say it's
yeah,
Joe. You can't say it's Joe when he got the team up, but the defense
yeah,
let him come back.
yeah. Hey, uh, I mean, like you said, it was a dog fight. From the beginning. You know what I mean? I mean, they locked Mike Vick up for the things that happened in that game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was a straight dog fight. Them boys was going at it. They was head up the whole game. Nobody expected for the Jets to come in there like that. I know I didn't. Hell, last week we was talking smack about the Jets in New York, talking about how New York, y'all ain't been looking good in a while. Well, I guess they must have heard us or something. 'Cause
Something lit a fire
hey,
in them.
New York came in repping, man, and man, y'all call him Mike White. I call him White Mike. You know what I'm saying? White Mike came in there balling, boy. White Mike wasn't playing, man. I don't know where dude came from, but I think he been in the league about 4 years now. Drafted by the Cowboys. Y'all let that one get away. Apparently, I don't know, but he looked like he got some potential, man. We'll see as he continues to progress. But just another thing you got to have your eye on, man. The Jets just played good ball and they beat a good team. Of course, you always have that. Just nobody really knows your identity as a team when you're talking about the Jets. So when they come out and play solid ball like that, nobody's expecting that. As teams see that, oh, okay, they working with a little something, they'll tighten up on them. So we'll see how the Jets adapt to the different strategies of defenses that they encounter. Now the teams know that, hey, they on the radar, they playing. You know what I mean? It ain't just gonna be a breeze anymore when you play the Jets. So we'll see how they progress. But White Mike did his thing, man. White Mike did
Yeah,
his thing. Yeah.
yeah. We'll see after teams put that tape on. There
Yeah.
was no tape before Sunday. So
Hmm.
after teams put that tape on him, we'll see how he prepares moving forward. But
Yeah.
we can go ahead and move on to the next team. We
Yeah.
got Tennessee and the Indianapolis Colts. Tennessee won 34-31, but they lost Derrick Henry, possibly for the season. What you got to
Uh,
say?
Man, this is probably the most disappointing loss of any this season when you're talking about players getting injured, man. You're talking about the heart and soul of that team, man. And it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough without him. I know they just activated Adrian Peterson, but I mean, I ain't heard nothing about Adrian Peterson in a while. Don't get me wrong, he's a great future Hall of Fame. I mean, Adrian Peterson has always been a beast. I remember that year he came back after he had torn his Achilles and what he do number two in the history of the NFL rushing that year. So, I mean, Adrian Peterson is a beast of nature. I don't know if he still has it, but I mean, you lost Derrick Henry, man. So that's gonna be some tough shoes to fill. Um, I don't know, man. They got the win. They got the win. They got it in overtime. They squozed that one out. I don't think the game would have been as close as what it was if Henry hadn't have been injured. But the fact of the matter is, it is what it is. You got to play through your ups and your downs. That's what this league is. NFL, not for long. That's all I got to say. Yeah, I mean, you seen how the Bucks was playing last year. You see how they playing this year. It's not for long. Nothing lasts for long in this league. You can have an injury, and your team could go from being on top to being completely on the bottom. Look at the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? Like you just got to roll with the punches. That's what this league is all about. So, man, I'm definitely disappointed because that was one of my squads that I really liked, that I had my eye on, but man, with Derrick Henry gone, man, it's gonna be rough. We'll keep an eye on them boys though, man. But they squoze that one out.
Yeah, it's definitely a team to keep an eye on and keep a close watch on that. It's definitely heartbreaking for them.
Yeah.
That was a beast. He was a beast. But
Hmm.
your boy, you always trying to talk up Tannehill. He had 11 targets to AJ Brown, and AJ Brown got 10 of them. So something was going on good for that passing game with Derrick Henry being out. But the real loss of the game was Wentz being Wentz. That what he's about to be sacked, get a safety, and he throws the ball with his left hand, and it's
Yeah.
picked off at the 2 or 3 yard line, and they
Yeah.
running in for a touchdown. That was
Yeah.
just Wentz being Wentz. That's why you left
Yeah.
Philly.
Yeah.
So that's really what saved the Tennessee Titans. If they're a better team, they might not would have been able to make up for the loss of Derrick Henry.
Well, I wasn't gonna say nothing about all of that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you right, man. You right. Yeah, Wentz definitely blew that one for him, and hey, it is what it is, man. Can't rewind time, man. Titans got that one. Who you got
Yeah,
next for me, man?
we got L.A. versus Houston. Is this even something to talk about? Stafford went off on them
Um,
boys.
you got that man over there with the two last names, Davis Mills, over there getting it in. That's a bright spot for the Texans. He played pretty solid ball. He's 29 for 38, 310 yards, two TDs and an NO. I think the biggest story for the Texans with that game is the fact that they couldn't get the run game going, man. You know what I mean? They gonna have to do something, get the offensive, tighten that offensive line up, get them a major back in there, or something like that. Cause you got to have both of those threats in order to open one up so that you could really progress in these games. So they couldn't get anything going with the run, and plus, it's the Texans. We all know they haven't been really doing the best this year, but they trying to get their identity. They scored 22 against the Rams. That's not too bad, but we kind of expected for the Rams to take them out. So it is what it is.
Yeah, with Stafford, Henderson, Cooper Cup, they just was putting up numbers. They were just putting up
Yeah.
numbers, but then they was getting hit from every direction. So yeah,
Mhm.
it was good that they put up 22 points against that defense, because
Mhm.
that defense is pretty solid. So that's a
Mhm.
plus for them. But yeah, they still took that L. So we can go on to the next one. Next one, oh man, this was a one I didn't expect. Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Uh,
Mhm.
Pittsburgh came out and they actually got the W. It was 15-10, a low scoring game. You picked Pittsburgh, I picked Cleveland. I
Mhm.
did not expect that. I did not expect that. They still had Nick Chubb. I shouldn't say still. Nick Chubb came back and they also still had the same running back that was filling in for them last week, Dearness Johnson. Those two
Mhm.
did a good job, but it just wasn't enough. And Najee Harris was matching those numbers that they were putting up together, and this
Yeah.
this kept the win on Pittsburgh side. What you got to say?
Yeah, man. I saw this one coming. I saw this one coming a mile away, and really it was just the momentum that Pittsburgh has had over the course of their past few games. That defense really been looking good, as I kind of pointed out when we were doing our picks. The Browns, they so loaded up with talent, man. It's like you would expect for the Browns to really win a game like this. But just looking at the momentum, like I said with the Steelers for the past three games, the Browns' momentum really hasn't been that solid. They haven't been playing consistently good ball. So it wasn't really surprised. I also wouldn't have been surprised if the Browns had a blew them out. You see what I'm saying? It just depends on which Browns team we're gonna get that game. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much the story of the Browns season this year. Very talented team, but just can't get it going. A couple injuries here and there, and different things like that. Just a rough season for the Browns, man. Meanwhile, the Steelers are kind of uptrending. I expected a low scoring game, and that's exactly what we got. And I don't know if you recall, but I was like, whoever can muster up just a few more points, that's who was gonna get this win. So Big Ben, they went and got it done. They had like 4 or 5 sacks against them. They were constantly pressuring the Browns, something that you would have expected from the Browns towards the Steelers, probably more so. And they were also spreading the ball around. And like you said, Najee Harris had an amazing game. Equaling what those two backs were doing for the Browns by himself. Not only that, he also had quite a few pass yards as well, catching passes out of backfield. So, they just had a better game plan. They executed, man, and they got the win.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
So we can go ahead and move on to the next. This next one, wow, Philadelphia against Detroit. Uh, this was just a epic blowout. just that O line. That O line was non-existent. They had 5 sacks against them.
Yeah,
5 sacks.
ain't too
Come
much you
on,
can
man.
say about this one, man. Hmm.
There
Yeah,
was no upset for this one. 44-6. What you got to say?
this was one of them beat downs, man. This was one of them, and your daddy gonna get a hold of you when he come home too types. You know what I'm saying? Like this was one of them beat downs right here. Like ain't nothing you could do about it. You just brace for it and wait for it, and it is what it is. But man, the Eagles beat them down, bro. And Detroit. I mean, we all know Detroit ain't been playing the best ball this year. You know, they try to put out, certain games or whatnot, but they got beat down this one, 44-6. Man, it don't get too much worse than that.
The
Yeah.
only positive that you can possibly say is that they didn't let them score a passing. Philly did not
Mm-hmm.
score not one passing touchdown. It all came on the ground and just field goals. I 44-6. Oh man, that's a massacre.
It
All
might
right.
make it even worse though. They scoring 44 points on the ground and field goals. Is that better or worse? I don't know, bro. God.
Hey, hey, you gotta look for something when you lose 44-6, you gotta look for something. You gotta look for something. You gotta look for some high note.
No injuries.
Yeah, yeah, those are things you look for. All right, moving on. Oof, this is a tough one for you. San Francisco and Chicago.
Oh man, I think I
San
gotta think.
Francisco took that one to 33-22. We both picked Chicago, and we both were wrong. And I was on the fence. I
Mhm.
remember saying I was going back and forth, but I believed in Chicago. I believed that your boy would just run all over him, and he did.
He
Justin Fields
did.
was running all over him, but
He did.
he didn't run far enough. And
Nah.
San Francisco, and oh man, Garoppolo got a rushing touchdown almost the same way. I was like, Garoppolo, what you doing? What you got to say,
Yeah.
man? It's your squad. What you got to say?
Man, you're right, man. Fields did. He ran his behind off, but I mean, he probably, he almost ran for more than what he threw for, and that's always a bad sign. I mean, you're a quarterback. You should, triple what you doing on the ground. As a quarterback. I mean, traditionally and typically. So, I mean, that kind of tells the story right there. He couldn't get the pass game going. They couldn't get the running game going. They just couldn't get anything going in this game. You know what I mean? And San Francisco came in and they balled. So, I don't know. Chicago, they need some they need some new cabinets, some new interior over there. Maybe some new coaches. They gonna need to revamp something because something's not clicking with them. Um, and it's like, hey, you got a good talent in there, and you're thinking that he's the guy, and he gives you a good chance to win, and good potential and stuff like that. But I don't know. Maybe Matt Nagy was right. Maybe he need to stay on the bench for a little while. Because I mean, this can't be good for the kid. I mean, it can't be good for the kid to be taking all these L's, and his first season. And I'm sure he's kind of got a thick skin. I mean, they football players. They got to a certain degree, but I sure hope they could get a few wins under their belt. As they approach the end of the season. I mean, they got like one of the hardest schedules in the league, so it's tough on the kid. But I'm from the shop, man. We gonna keep rooting for him. We gonna hope for the best for him, and it is what it is. But San Francisco definitely got the best of them out this game. Garoppolo had some big throws, man. They got a cat over there, Debo Samuel. Yeah, he don't even run around on the field. He just go around with a squeaky bike, taking everybody chains and stuff. His name Debo. You know what I'm saying? Take everybody footballs out the air. But he ain't scored no touchdowns. But he had a bunch of huge catches. Through the air. So I don't know. Bears just got beat down, man. Good
Yeah,
job to San Francisco though for coming up playing some good ball.
Yeah, you know Debo Samuels is a South Carolina kid, right?
Man, I ain't trying to hear that, man. This guy, this guy.
Glad you brought him up. Glad you brought him up. But hey, we won't harp on it too long. We'll move on. We'll move on. No, it's a sore subject right now, so we're gonna move on to the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina took this out 19-13. We
Mm-hmm.
both picked Atlanta. We thought Atlanta could pull this off, but man, the ice was. They must have had hot coffee or something because he was not icy at all.
Man.
It's this
Yeah.
this game had only two touchdowns between both teams,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest were field goals. This was two teams that aren't going anywhere this season. They're playing for the
Mm-hmm.
first pick of the draft or the first five picks of the draft. This is what these two teams is going to be doing at the end of the season because this game it was boring to watch the highlights.
Yeah.
What you got to say?
Yeah, it was, man. It was a tough game to watch. I never really been a big Falcons fan. I mean nothing against the Falcons, but I never really been. Let me arrange what I just said. I've never been a big Matt Ryan fan. Okay, I got nothing against the Falcons. One of my good partners played for the Falcons. You know what I'm saying? Kevin the Burner Turner. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, Michael the Burner Turner. Kevin was his little brother. They was twins. But I grew up with them, and Mike played for them, so I always supported the Falcons. I used to live in Atlanta, so nothing against Atlanta. I really enjoy watching them boys play, but Matt Ryan never really did it for me. As you know, one of my main phrases is, "Hey, if you ain't balling for the chip, then what you balling for?" You see what I'm saying? Like that guy ain't gonna take you there. He ain't gonna take you there. So you might as well get to swapping around. You know what I'm saying? Deal me another hand till I get some jokers and some aces or something I can work with. You feel me? Otherwise, we could do 5-5 May to keep it pimping. You know what I mean? I just, it's just not a big fan of them. And I'm not surprised that Carolina came in there and won. Carolina needed a win because they've been getting spanked on and beaten up on, and this was really anyone's game, and Carolina just came in there and pulled it off.
Yes, Sam Darnold got set down last week. This week he bounced back. I guess he
Hmm.
took that animosity and put it into the game this week, just to
Hmm.
get his team into field goal range to kick those field goals to win the game.
Yeah.
It was a game of who can kick the most field goals, and so uh, they Carolina won. All
Yeah.
right, we're moving on to the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. We both picked the Buffalo Bills, and the Buffalo Bills won this 26-11. What you got to say?
Hmm. I mean, it was totally expected, man. It's Buffalo Bills, one of the teams that you're really looking at in the NFL. Just been playing good ball, since they started off this year, and I definitely wouldn't expect for Miami to come in and beat Buffalo. Well, Miami got 2 wins, 1 win. How many? I
Miami
think
has
they.
won. They
Yeah,
were well. They're not 1-7. We can put the
yeah,
current standings right now. 1-7.
yeah.
Miami Dolphins.
So you got Miami. They 1-7. Definitely wouldn't expect for them to knock off the Buffalo Bills. But then again, I wasn't expecting for the Jets to knock off the Bengals neither. So I mean, anything can happen. But I just wasn't expecting that one, and it didn't happen. Not against the Bills, man. So no, not a surprise for me at all.
And I thought the big uh, team effort was going to come from Josh Allen to Diggs, but it was actually Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley was the top receiver in the game. I think he had
Mm,
like 10 receptions for 110 yards. The
Mm-hmm.
boy was balling. I miss him over there in Dallas. Hey, Cole Beasley. Hey,
Yeah.
we miss you. We miss you. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna share the tip for that one. But
Yeah.
that's who Josh Allen was using to get this game going. I mean, he still got it to Diggs. I think he connected the Diggs for a touchdown for one of the touchdowns in the 26 point. Uh, but it was him and Cole Beasley that was a top teammates to this game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll move on to the next game. We got the New England Patriots and the Los Angeles Chargers. We both nope. You picked New England and I picked the Chargers, and New England won. What you got to say?
Defense win championships. That's what I got to say. You got Belichick. He defensive. Just mastermind over that when it comes to laying out a defensive game plan against a team. And then you got a young quarterback who come in there. You already know how Belichick feel about not letting rookies and young quarterbacks beat up on them. So you knew he was definitely going to devise a plan for the Chargers. Not only that, the Chargers, everybody's had their eyes on the Chargers because they've been playing such good ball. And whenever teams have their eyes on you, they gonna be shooting for you, and that's exactly what you had here. I mean, the Chargers put out though. That was the good thing about this game. It was a really good game, and at one point, it looked like the Chargers might go ahead and take New England out. But New England really showed a lot of character in this game, muscling this game out. Mac Jones had a pretty good game, and them boys they just took care of business, man. They took care of business, and it says a lot to a team. It says a lot about a team that can win at the end. Like you can go back and forth with another team, but when your squad knows how to muscle it out at the end, when you can manage that clock so that you can get that ball last, or so that you can make that critical stop at the end, so you can just run that time out, like it says a lot about your team. And man, Belichick showing game by game why he's so great. When they was talking all that smack about, oh, was it Belichick? Was it Brady? Was it Belichick? Was it Brady? I mean, Belichick ain't had nothing to say. He one of them cats like I'm gonna let the game, speak for me. Ain't got nothing to say about it for real. And he's showing everybody. Whole new team, Brady gone. Them boys winning games. Them boys
Yeah,
winning games.
yeah, that was a good game. Man. Matt Jones was out there slinging the rock. It was a good game. I don't have anything to add on. You said a mouthful. You said enough. That was definitely one. That was a game to watch. That was a game to
Yeah,
watch.
yeah.
All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to our next game. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Seattle Seahawks. Again, two teams that not going anywhere this season. Uh, Jacksonville was 1-5. Seattle was 2-5. Seattle pulled all his wins. Geno Smith bounced back. He showed his connection that he can have with Tyler Lockett. And, whew, that was he needed that. He needed to find that
Mhm.
connection because Tyler Lockett is a beast out there. What you got to
Mhm.
say?
I mean, Seattle got to win. Seattle needed a win. You know, they needed that. they did, man. They needed that win because Seattle been struggling a little bit against some of the better teams in the league, or some of just the moderate teams in the league. I mean, we all know Russ gone. I think Russ getting his pen put in his hand now, so I think they looking trying to get Russ back within the next few games or so, hopefully. I was reading something about that, but in the meantime, hey, you know, they got to work with what they got, and they just trying to get into the playoffs, and hopefully Russ can go ahead and take them into the playoffs if possible. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, that's the goal for them to try and make it to the playoffs. And I know you over there shaking your head. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's unlikely. But what's the name of this league? NFL. Some people think it stands for National Football League. I say it stands for not for long. and you never know what team can have what happen, or what teams can have what happen. You never stop. Yeah. Now unless this big chubby chick over here, she starts singing, then we call it a day. You feel me? So that's the goal, man. For them to keep fighting, for them to keep scratching, and to see if they can squeeze their way into something. However, it however unlikely it may seem. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, that's what it is. But they got them one. They got them one.
That chubby chick is singing, bro.
She
She
singing.
she 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 bellowing out there. 3-5, bro. They're at the bottom of the division. It's not happening. It's not happening for Seattle. You got San Francisco. You got the Rams. It's not happening for them. It's not happening for them. They have too much to climb out of. And
Yeah,
also your team, one of your hitters, the Cardinals is over there too in their division. It's not happening. I
yeah,
don't see it
yeah,
happening.
yeah.
You
Nah,
got
I
you
don't
got a
see it
lot of games
happening
to
either.
make.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't see
okay.
it. I don't see it happening neither. I'm just saying that's the goal. That's what you. That's what
that
you.
that that's always a goal, but you know what? You know what a better goal is? It's just to have Russell Wilson just rest the rest of the year and come back next year. You know, that make sure he's healthy. You know, he's already missed
Mm-hmm.
some games this year, so there's
Mm-hmm.
no reason for him to come back. There's not anything. There's nothing positive to say about him coming back.
Yeah, I mean you got a valid point. You definitely do.
All right, so we'll move on to the next game. We have the Washington football team against the Denver Broncos, and Denver Broncos showed that Washington is the a mediocre team. Not even. What you got to say?
I mean, what was the score on this one? I don't think. Excuse me.
I don't have that.
Broncos and Washington. Yeah, yeah. Washington caught a beat down for this one, I believe, and yeah, I ain't got too much to say about this one. I mean, we all pretty much knew that Washington wasn't really about to kick up no dust. Denver did just get rid of Von Miller. He went over there to the Rams. But I mean, Denver's still too strong of a squad for Washington to deal with. That boy with the last name of the drinks that I like to be sipping on and stuff. He ain't gonna cut it. Heineke, he ain't gonna cut it against certain teams, man. They better go, find somebody else to try and pick on, because Denver wasn't no opponent.
Yeah, Heineke is a backup that's not showing. That he didn't show up for backup day. Sunday was backup day,
Hmm.
but not for Heineke. He
Nah,
just he
not at
fell
all.
short. He fell short. But we're gonna move on uh, to the next game. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints. Uh, I was calling them the Ants, but they did it. They had that backup quarterback uh, come in. Uh, uh, he filled in for the injured quarterback, and he showed that, hey, I should be the starter. I mean, he's a third string quarterback at that. He's the third string quarterback, and he came in there and just was slinging a rock like
Hmm.
he was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
He surprised me, and I was like, damn, ate my words because I had the Saints out of here. I had Tom Brady. I had Tom Brady doing his thing against the Saints, and Tom
Yeah.
Brady did not do his thing. He threw a
Hmm.
couple picks. That defense was a beast over there.
Yeah.
What you got to say?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's two things to be said about this, and that's one what you just mentioned. And that's that the Saints defense is pretty doggone solid. I mean, they only a year removed from Drew Brees being there, so of course, they had a pretty solid team around Drew Brees, and the fact that he just left pretty much pretty much alludes to the fact that they're still a good team over there. And really, it just shows you how drastic a difference it makes to have a good, great quarterback on your squad. See what I'm saying? When you don't have that great quarterback on your squad, you can have the squad, you can have the goons, and still not do anything with it. You need somebody to facilitate that. You know what I'm saying? You need your fiduciary over there managing the trust, getting all your people together, dropping them bombs off, calling them plays, modifying and and the like. So the Saints are still a viable squad. I mean, the Saints have had New England's. I'm sorry. Let me not say New England. Okay, but the Saints have had Brady's number for quite some time, especially since he's been in Tampa Bay. So, I mean, when you compare the two teams, it's like, yeah, probably not. But when you look at the history, it's like the Saints have had his number. So it's definitely a chance that, this could have happened. And it did. You know what I mean? The Saints went in there and they beat up on them. But I don't think Tampa Bay looks all that good this year.
Oh, they
Personally,
don't.
I've been watching their games, and I mean, you got Brady over there, so it's like, okay, you give them the benefit of the doubt, but they really don't look all that good, and it just kind of make you wonder, like, are they gonna get to the playoffs and then just step it all the way up? Hey, Brady over there, like, look, man, I'm a vet. I'm in my 40s. I'm gonna get us into the playoffs. Then I'm gonna ball out. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, he just chilling, just like, okay, I'm gonna put it on cruise control, just get us in there. Then once we get in there, all hell gonna break loose. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm wondering. But you better be careful. You mess around, don't make it. But yeah, they beat them boys. That happened.
That surprisingly, that did happen.
Yeah,
I couldn't
yeah,
believe
that
it.
happened.
But
Hmm.
you know, just, I know I couldn't believe that one. I was wrong about that one. But the next game we got to talk about the Big D Dallas Cowboys against the Minnesota Vikings. Told you we was gonna go in there and win. Wasn't pretty. Wasn't
Hmm.
pretty. Wasn't pretty at all. We came in there with a backup quarterback. Like I said, it was backup QB day. Um,
Hmm.
Cooper Rush came in there and was slinging the rock to those
Hmm.
receivers like he belonged there. And,
Hmm.
he had Amari Cooper, C.D. Lamb. He had the
Yeah.
tight ends to throw to. He had Zeke to throw
Hmm.
to. He
Hmm.
had Pollard to throw to. I mean, with all those weapons, you know, I could have a good day out there. You know what I'm saying? And he did. He came out. He threw that pick. But uh, after that, he settled himself. He did have
Yeah.
a fumble, but
Yeah.
it's all in all, it was a good game for him. And the defense was getting off the field on third down. At one point, they were 1-11 on third down.
Mm.
Minnesota only got, and that was that first drive where they scored the touchdown.
Mm.
After that, they went 1-11 on third down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that defense, even though we didn't have a pick, even though Diggs didn't have that another pick, I want him to try to break the record. Just a
Hmm.
small little victory there, but we still won. We still showed that we have a great defense. Uh, that boy Randy Gregory was getting on getting on Kirk. He was chasing him around the field, had him in fits, boy. Throwing the throwing the throwing the ball throwing the ball away when he's still in the pocket.
Yeah.
Like, no, you can't do that. You gotta get out of the pocket to do that. You might as well take the sack. Then the coach calling
Yeah.
timeouts at the timeout. He's trying to call two timeouts in a row. Can't do that. Can't do that. So they got in the Cowboys got in their head. Cowboys got in
Yeah.
their head. But it was it was
Mhm.
it was not it was not cohesive that game. But yeah, we pulled out the W. What you got to say about it?
Yeah, the Vikings were overmatched, and I mean, you really expected for the Cowboys to do more than what they did, even with the backup quarterback. And I mean, the backup quarterback, he played a good game and everything. You know, like you say, he had the one pick or whatnot. But I mean, overall, he managed the game pretty well. I'm just kind of surprised the Cowboys didn't do a little bit more. But I mean, you see that often in games. You see teams doing just enough to get the win. They don't always just go all the way in on the team and, just blow them out necessarily. You'll see one team, they'll just beat a team by a few points and then come out the next week and play a much better team and then run the score up on them or something like that. And that's just because, I think it's just a natural thing to kind of tailor your efforts based on who you playing. Even though I wouldn't say that's a good thing, but you just see that pretty often in the league. You know what I'm saying? Where teams don't really just blow people out. And then of course you got those other times when they do, but I would have liked to seen the Cowboys do a little bit more. But I mean, you did have the backup come in there. Game plan probably wasn't as solid for the backup quarterback and stuff like that. So, I mean, at the end of the day, most important part, they got that win. You know what I mean? They got that win, and they stand on track, stand on pace. And what's the word on Dak coming back, man?
Uh, I think it's going to be another game time decision. I know they had said that that injury could take 4 weeks for recovery. Um,
Okay.
he did come out in pregame like he didn't have anything wrong. They may expect uh, another game he'll be out. The next game, we play Denver in Dallas.
Okay.
They may set him out for that game as
Yeah.
well. Uh, there was even talks to go over to Chicago and take away the old boy from the old redhead from Chicago, and bring him back and have him start for a game. Um, but
Talking about Andy Dalton?
yes, that's what the commentators were saying. I don't see it
Really?
happening. I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
Especially with the game Cooper Rush played. Cooper Rush showed that he can withstand and manage the game while Dak's out. Um,
Hmm.
and also he is healthy. Like I said, he was out there pregame looking like he does always. They just want to be cautious. You know, there's 18 games this season. No, yeah,
Mm.
18 weeks this season. 17
Hmm.
games. 17 games. So they want to make sure he's there for the long haul. They know how important it is to have him in the game, or seeing how the season went last year. So they're
Yeah.
just being cautious, even though he feels like he's 100%. They want to make sure everything's healed with his calf before they bring him back to start.
I got you. Okay. All right.
All right. So we had the Monday night game that just ended a few moments ago. We have the New York Football Giants and the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs pulled it off. They got the W. They won 20-17. Uh,
Man.
that it's not saying much, but Kansas City did get a win under their belt. But it's not looking good for the Chiefs this year. You know, now they're at 500. They're at 4-4, and I don't see them going anywhere this year. But I could be wrong with this one. This one is up in the air. They might be able to make it, but I don't see it. What you got to say?
Man, they out of there, bruh. They out of there. Straight up. Kansas City ain't doing nothing this year. If they was gonna do something, they would have done something. Ain't nobody about to come save them. You can't just wave a magic wand and make your players play right. I don't know what's wrong with them. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly what they got going on, but they need some intervention or something. They need to go meditate or go see the witch doctor or something. I don't know, but this is something wrong with KC. And they used to be some ballers, and now they just You know what I'm saying? Like they doo doo garbage at this point, man. They just barely beat the Giants. the Giants, bro. Just barely beat the Giants. I'm like, wow. What they beat them 17, 14?
20 to 17, 2017. Uh,
2017. Oh man,
yeah,
bro.
uh, a last drive field goal that left with a little bit over a minute left on the clock. Daniel Jones
Yeah,
got it back, and um, the defense held and got it to double zeros on the clock,
yeah,
and they
yeah.
they
I
couldn't
got
drive. They couldn't get a first down. Um, Actually, they didn't take it as double zeros. I'm sorry. They held them on fourth down. It was fourth and long. They got to Daniel Jones and he threw a incomplete pass and they just kneeled down on it and took the W.
you. Yeah, yeah. I got you. Well, hey man, they got the win. That's the most important thing. Hopefully, they could try and muster out a few more and get back on track. But I don't really see too much coming from KC this year. I don't know. Um, I don't know what's going on with them. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research, see what's going on with Kansas City, because some things obviously had to change in order for them to fall off like that. I mean, they never had a great defense like that, but their offense is even stumbling too. They must have some injuries or something over there. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go take a delve into that team and go see what's going on. So I have some updates the next time we come on, man. So you got anything else to say about that one?
I think defense have caught up with the Mahomes magic.
Um,
It he was he. I was I was listening to Brett Favre one day and he made a comparison to himself. He's a gunslinger, and
mm,
and that's what Brett Favre was. He just would toss that rock. I mean, he had a great career.
mm,
He did a lot of things, and a lot of things was just like Mahomes. It was magical, but he just tossed it up. Some of it was wishes, and you and
mm,
and Mahomes brought a swagger to the NFL that wasn't really seen before. With no look passes. That's an NBA thing,
mm,
not an NFL thing.
mm,
But
mm,
now, and just flicking it to the tight end or running back out of the backfield in the middle of all the congestion. So he's still doing those things, and they're not having the same outcome.
mm.
That's where things are going wrong. Everybody's still there.
Yeah.
You still have your speedsters on the field that can take the top
Mm,
off the defense. But that O
yeah.
line, well, what we need to research is that O line because that O line is not there. That O line is being abused. That's part of
Mm,
what the problem is with the Mahomes magic. He's having to make quicker decisions because the defense is in his face, and it's not panning out well. He's throwing it to the defense, and not necessarily the secondary. He's throwing it in the middle of in the middle of the D line.
mm.
So that's part of the problem is what's going on with the Mahomes magic.
Okay, I got you. Well, I think that pretty much sums it up, right?
That was another week in the books. Uh,
Mm,
I'm gonna have a total of all of our wins and all of our losses coming up um, in the next week's preview, so
okay.
we can see how we're doing with these picks. I know we winning. We're winning. We got a winning record. Um,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
we took some L's this week. We took some L's this week, more than usual. Some unusual W's came out of here.
yeah,
Um, but
definitely.
but we, we still got that. We still got more. We got more right than we got wrong.
Yeah, most definitely. All right. Well, that's what's up, man. Thank y'all for joining us today on Truck Talk. Please stay tuned for our next episodes coming up every week. They usually dropping on a Wednesday or a Thursday. It's just depending on when we getting them out and how quickly we getting them out. But typically on that Thursday. Um, Once again, appreciate y'all coming out. This has been another episode of Truck Talk. I'm Rick Dolo. That there's VIP. And like, share, subscribe. And hey, that be that. Until we meet again, peace.
Peace.